I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, we travel to Elgin's celebration of the new federal holiday, Juneteenth, for interviews, including the head coach of the Jesse White Tumblers who came to town. Mayor David Captain's segment is with Maria Campata, Director of Parks and Recreation Department. Mayor and Maria talk about a new master plan being developed for Elgin's parks. We hear from Elgin's Special Events Coordinator, Kate O'Leary, with details as Nightmare on Chicago Street is back in October. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. On our July edition of Elgin Today, Kate O'Leary is here. Kate, you know, if you're talking with us, that must mean Nightmare on Chicago Street info must be coming our way.
Yes, it is on the horizon.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. Our date will be?
Our date is October 22nd. And it runs from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
We're so excited to have that back. It started in 2011, of course, with everything down the last 2 years. That didn't go, but will Fred have some special things for us?
Absolutely, Fred will have special things.
Some scary things?
He's been working on it for 2 years already, yeah. He's got plenty to showcase this year.
Grandma will be scared out of her wits on this one. It should be good. Tell us what we need to know about tickets.
All right, well, tickets have been on sale. They are going to be going up. So be sure to get your tickets early. Day of, they are going to be $40 at the gate.
You're having a chance to negotiate with everybody. Everybody wants to come back, don't they?
Of course, yeah. We've got applications out for food vendors, for the liquor vendors downtown, for the businesses that already have their liquor licenses, and for food vendors.
And with this returning, you're the most important and popular person in Chicagoland, aren't you?
Oh, I don't know.
Everybody's calling you.
No, I'm going with Fred. Fred's more popular.
Oh, Fred creates a lot, but they come to you and say, can I have a ticket, or will it happen?
Yes, they do come to me for logistics, which is what we're in right now. We're getting all of our stages secured. We're getting all of our fencing, all the tables, tents, chairs, things that need to be in place for the actual event while the artist team is working on things behind the scenes.
Wonderful. We know Sven Goulet loves it, so he's negotiating, isn't he?
Yes, oh yeah, we're hoping to have him back as well.
Oh, he wouldn't miss that, would he?
I don't think so.
I don't think either. What else do we need to tell the folks?
Just to expect kind of all the things that you have been missing since 2019. We had the interim Little Park of Horrors that kind of filled the Halloween horror.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah, that worked out really well, I think.
Wonderful last year.
Yes.
2 years now.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a tide over for that, which was great. It served a lot of needs for the community, and now we're back and happy to have Nightmare on the horizon.
Well, with that, and with, of course, what you've done over the years with Nightmare, we were the Halloween capital of the world last year, weren't we?
Yes,
we were the entertainment capital.
Yes. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
All right. Well, all right. We're almost done here. Anything else that we leave out?
I don't think so. I think we are just excited right now. We're still, like I said, in the planning phases. We're working on getting some hard information out that we can start promoting, let people know what to expect exactly. But for now, just know that Nightmare on Chicago Street is back, and you can expect all the wonderful things that you're missing.
And the date again?
It's October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Gates open when?
Gates will open right at 6 o'clock.
All right. We've got everything. So can you make a scary face into the camera? Ooh,
no, not so much.
Right, use that camera. You've got me shaking. I can't go. Kate O'Leary, thanks for all your great work for the city of Elgin.
Thank you so much.
So we'll see everybody at Nightmare on Chicago Street. It's time for our July segment with Mayor David Captain. Mayor, we're enjoying the weather today, aren't we?
We sure are. We're on beautiful Walton Island today, and our guest is Maria Campata, Director of the Parks and Recreation Department for the city of Elgin. And it's a big time for the Parks and Recreation Department. They're putting together a new master plan, and that'll guide them for years into the future. We're looking at it as a community build type of and community input for this. And in June, they had the first meetings and at the Recreation Center, and discuss what people wanted to do and where their plans were. And we're hiring a consultant to help flesh those things out, and ask Maria here today to help fill us in as to what kind of progress they made. And at their first meeting, what were the discussions of people? What were their plans and their vision?
Outline. No one has more knowledge on this issue than you, my dear. So how did those meetings go? That meeting go the other day?
That meeting went great. It was on June 15th at the rec center. We had about 100 people there. So our consultants were there. They ran the meeting. It was an open house type meeting. And there were display boards set up so people could walk around and view the display boards. There were different questions that they were asked to answer, and tag what they thought were the highlights, and provide input on what they would like to see, what maybe changes they'd like to see, things that we don't offer that they'd like to see. But it was it's a community input. It's not the department creating this master plan, but it's a community input, and the more the more feedback we get from the community, the stronger the plan becomes.
We're so proud of the Parks and Rec over the years, so it's great to hear from the folks, and that adds to it as well, doesn't it, Mayor?
Exactly, and we have we always talk about things that there are a certain number of people that have lived in the city of Elgin for a number of years, but every couple of years we have to look at our population shift, and new people move in with their families, and what do they see? What ideas do they bring with them from other communities? And I think that's important for us. And Maria, I'm going to ask you this question: did you look at this on a like a district basis or a regional or a neighborhood basis, so people could talk about what did they see in their neighborhood that they wanted that would be an improvement, and look at as a more holistic as well?
Right. We'll remind folks we're talking to you from windy Walton Island. At this moment in time, a gust of wind got us right there. We love the Walton and what you're talking about, don't we?
We do. So we do break it down into different districts, similar that the community development does with their planning districts. So we kind of chunk it down like that, and working through this process. So last Wednesday was our kickoff meeting for this. So working through this process, the consultant will do an inventory of all the amenities and the facilities that the city has right now, and they kind of benchmark us against other communities and what we have, where we're at right now, and for the population that we have, what should we have? Maybe we have too much of this and not enough of this. But as the mayor indicated, our populations change. They shift all the time. So our last master plan was done in 2010. So a lot of things have changed since then. So that's really why we need to update this master plan. It's a guiding document for the department, but it's a strong document for the department, and what makes it so much stronger is just the input from the community. And I can't stress that enough. The more input we get from the community, the stronger the plan becomes.
In the last 10 years, you refurbished a lot of the parks as well, didn't you?
We have done a lot of things in the last 10 years. There's some things that we haven't done. We have done a lot. We're updating our playgrounds. We've had renovations at a lot of our facilities. We've updated a lot of the parks. Certainly there's a ton of stuff left to do. And by listening to the community and hearing what the community is interested in now, like I said, just makes that plan that much stronger.
Mayor?
A couple of the things I think that were included, that we really have to revisit once in a while is the use of the building across the river from us, the Hemmons. How's that being used? How do we use art space? How do we use the city facilities in an appropriate manner? And to go back and look at some of our events and plan our events. How do they still fit our needs? Do we need to change some of those? Are they still competitive? I think those are things that we look at as a council. We have to invest money back into these, and this is something that we still want to do.
All right. Well, Maria, we appreciate that. We got a biker going by right now. Walton Island's always real good. We've got 5 minutes left in that. Mayor, I wanted to mention to you, Walton Island was the scene of a major press conference in recent times, was it not?
Yeah, it was. And we received a grant was given to the U.S. Corps of Engineers by the Senator Durbin and the U.S. Senate to help finish a study looking at the Fox River. And it's an amenity for a community. How does it fit into the plans for a city like the city of Elgin? And we look at the river walk along here. How does that fit in with us? How do we need to upgrade some of these things? And it gives, again, it's going to give guidance to that. But we always get back to where the money comes from. And that's where Dave Captain says, well, who's going to pay for that? That's a nice idea, but where's the money going to come from?
Right. We always say lunch is on David Captain. Are we wrong with that?
There you go, yeah. And that's why we have nothing here today.
Right. Maria, did we leave anything out?
Well, so we had our first community input meeting last week. Doesn't mean that process is done. We have an online survey right now that people can get online and complete this survey, and that just adds more credibility to this whole process. So if they go to cityofelgin.org/Parks and Rec survey, that survey will be online, active, probably between 4 and 6 weeks. And once again, we want to hear, this is the community's plan. This isn't the department's plan. It's not city council's plan right now. This is the community's plan. So we need to hear from the community on what they're looking for.
And the community loves to have input, don't they?
They do. And a question for you, are there plans for more outreach? Will you be going out into actual neighborhoods with the consultants as they decide and they look at what maybe they have a vision for the input from the community as a whole in the Hemmons, but how do you take that back to the neighborhoods?
So we're currently gonna be working with a lot of our programs, a lot of our drop-in programs, a lot of our neighborhood-specific programs, and do that outreach effort. We're gonna take our iPads out there and engage those residents with completing that survey. If anybody's got any ideas of big events or special events or neighborhood activities that they have going on, please reach out to us, and we'd be more than happy to get out there and engage those residents.
All right. Isn't Walton Island a marvel that we created that years ago?
It was created by the Isaac Walton League right around the time of the Depression. And it's had upgrades and modifications over the years. And I think this really has reached the best point that it's been for a long time. And it took money to do that. And, we tried to do things in different ways just by massaging the banks. And, the river is relentless when it comes downstream, and it floods, and those are things that we dealt with. I remember the bridge went out, put a new bridge in one year, and the bridge got washed out pretty quickly. Yeah. But now we've reached a point of stability, and people love it, use this as a backdrop for weddings and events, and that's an important part of a community. It's a core of a community.
We were here in 2002 when the shoreline was improved, and it was a great day, wasn't it?
It was, and we had a really good spring this year because we didn't lose anything on the island.
Hey.
Typically, there's many springs where we lose a lot of stuff on the island, so it's been a good year so far.
All right. Have you lost anything on the island over the years, man?
Not a thing. I come down here very frequently, and I like walking down here. I like looking at the river, and one of the mayor's hobbies is to stand on the bridge and I look for fish.
Is that right?
Yeah, I just like to see
Can
them.
we go along with you on that day?
Sure. We look, and I saw one time he came down here walking across. I saw a turtle about that big.
Is that right?
Off here, sure. So
you have a diary of your seas?
This is an ecosystem, and when Senator Durbin was out here, he asked about the fishermen.
Yeah.
And I said, that's an important part of what goes on down here. And I said, on a weekend, there might be 75 or 100 people down here fishing. And I said, it's a recreation for them, low cost, and for some of them, it may help supplement their income by the fish that they catch.
Have you ever fished here, my dear?
No.
We used to have the tournament. We used to have the fishing duel here.
We used to have the Isaac Walton Fish for Fun event down here on the island, and then some years, like I said, in the spring, early June, the river a lot of times is very high. Yeah. So we got a little nervous with having a lot of kids running around here. We've taken that event out to Rolling Knolls.
What a success that was this year! You had NFL players there.
It was great. It's a great it's a great event. And this year, the Isaac Walton League is great to work with. This year we had the IDNR helping with that event. Yeah. So it was a huge turnout, great event.
The crowd was incredible. How many folks did you have out there?
I think they had a couple hundred.
That's great. That's great, man.
That's really, and those are the kind of things that you have to do as a city and as a Parks and Recreation Department. You go back and revisit things. Maybe they weren't as popular this last year or last couple of years as they've been in the past, and maybe it's time to move on. And I always tell people, people come to an event, and they might come 2 or 3 years. And I remember my father, we were out there a couple of times, and we're not going back anymore.
Well, Dad he knew best.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to go through those kind of things, too, and you have to either regenerate and rejuvenate events, and hopefully that we can entertain enough people. But we have to put limits on things, and we're scheduling, and Maria's staff has to attend all of these things, so it really starts to put a burden on people.
The Edward Schock Center of Elgin. Cliff Wells retired a couple months ago. You miss him, don't you?
Oh, everybody misses Cliff.
He was so good.
Everybody misses Cliff. We drag him out every once in a while for our different events.
He's a prop now?
He's not a prop. He's an active participant now.
Cliff's great, isn't he?
We went to high school together.
Oh, my God.
Oh, of course. With me, I went to high school with a lot of people. Cliff and I went to high school and used to see each other walking around. And
he opened up the
nice guy.
center. He is very nice, and his family's great as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yep.
Great Elgin ideas, and he would open up the center bright and early.
20 years. 20
Wow.
20 years he opened that building for us.
And that's your job now, isn't it, Mayor?
Yeah, they're going to give me a key. Yeah.
You're up at 6 a.m. to open up the center.
Right. I'm up at 5, but I don't know if I want to come down and do that.
Clock's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
The center bellows you.
And it's nice to open it up on a day like this, but it's probably not nice in January when it's 5 above zero and snowing or freezing rain. So Cliff did a great job.
We're almost out of time. Maria Campata, we appreciate you. This is fun, wasn't it?
It's always a great time. Always.
All right. And Mayor, as always, you're a delight. Any final thoughts?
We'll look forward to doing a program again next month, and we'll look forward to doing them the rest of the summer.
And you brought his fishing pole today, didn't you?
Well, not quite.
Almost.
Maybe I'll go wade.
All right, we'll go wade, looking for fish and turtles later. All right, that's going to be our segment with the Mayor, Maria Campata, for this month of July. Thanks.
I got to say, today is monumental, magnificent, and this is the movement and the moment. to be able to have everyone come out and celebrate in high fashion Juneteenth for all that it means for our ancestors, for carving and paving the way, the sacrifice on the backs of many, the blood, sweat, and tears. I am so happy to see this day finally here.
I would be totally out of order if I didn't get the founder of the AACKC and the first one that started Juneteenth in Elgin. She founded the Juneteenth Festival back in 2001, I think she started. So let me call up the founder of AACKC, and that would be Gertie McLean. I know she hear me somewhere in the park, so stop whatever you're doing. I know you're busy. You're still busy. Stop what you're doing and make your way to the stage.
I think as part of us as a community, we need to step back for a second and also reflect. Reflect on the people that sacrificed to bring us here today. Grandparents, parents, friends, and people who across this nation made Juneteenth a national holiday. And it's important for all of us to celebrate that and recognize what's happened in this country and to acknowledge it. And to build a foundation, and a strong foundation is the way that you build a great event. And as part of that, recognize, take a few seconds today as you walk around and remember the people that brought you here. Your parents and your grandparents and the things that they sacrificed to make it just happen for you to be here this afternoon. So it's a great pleasure for me and an honor to read this proclamation. And whereas it was on June 19th, 1865, that Union soldiers led by Major Gordon Granger landed in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the war had ended and to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation. And whereas June 19th has a special meaning to African Americans and is called Juneteenth, combining the words June and 19th, and has been celebrated by the African American community for over 150 years. Whereas Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, is considered by many to be the longest running African American holiday and is often referred to as America's second Independence Day. And whereas Juneteenth became a legal federal holiday in 2021 and is also a legal state holiday in the state of Illinois. And whereas Juneteenth observations are held throughout the nation and is a symbolic date celebrating African American freedom, culture, equal rights, and unity in the United States. Now therefore I, David Captain, Mayor of the City of Elgin, Illinois, do hereby proclaim June 19th as Juneteenth in the City of Elgin and urge all citizens to become more aware of the significance of this celebration in African American history and in the heritage of our nation and our city. Congratulations, enjoy the day, but remember what it means.
One love, Elgin.
Amiguitos, bienvenidos a otro episodio. Quería dejarles saber un poquito de información. Este año nuevamente vamos a empezar a tener Nightmare on Chicago Street. Si al caso no han asistido, este año, en el pasado también, han tenido este evento que ha sido aquí en el centro de Elgin, que se pone súper divertido. Todo el mundo se pone sus disfraces, vienen, hay comida, hay música, todo el mundo hay concursos. Es que en sí, pónganse listos para venir a asistir. Las fechas y la información va a estar acá abajo en un enlace. También este año el Rec Center, que es el centro de donde hacemos ejercicio de aquí de Elgin, vamos a tener en sí 20 años que han estado aquí con nosotros y queremos invitarlos. Hay mucha información, eventos que van a estar aproximándose, que aseguren tomar nota para que vengan y practiquen, hagan ejercicio, diferentes eventos. No se lo pierdan, aquí los esperamos. Hola a todos, espero que se encuentren de maravilla. Nuevamente estamos aquí. Ahora vamos a hacer un poquito diferente el segmento. Tenemos a alguien en la comunidad muy importante que creo que es realmente ideal que la gente conozca, porque tenemos personas muy importantes en nuestra comunidad que han hecho tantas cosas y creo que queremos presentarlo, dejarles saber todos lo que está haciendo. Platícanos, se llama Jonathan, Gael, Alexis, Medina. Miranda, es que tiene un nombre bien mexicano, no se nos va a olvidar. Platícanos un poquito de qué estás haciendo, en qué escuela ibas, o vas todavía, pero están de vacaciones. Platícanos un poquito de lo que estás haciendo.
Ok, pues mi nombre es Jonathan Gael Alexis Miranda y voy al Elgin High School. Voy al Elgin High School. He ido por ya cuatro años y
Vas a hacer ya, este es tu último año que vas a participar, ¿sí?
sí, ya soy un senior. Ya tengo 4 años y sí, estoy en la academia de Gifted and Talented.
Es que es un cerebro muy inteligente. Ha hecho muchas cosas. Y dinos qué te gusta, porque sé que tienes algo que te gusta mucho en la escuela.
Nomás de aprender, todo de aprender, de ir a las clases, pues a conocer a mis maestros, a mis amigos, pues a aprender más, pues.
Pero qué talento tienes como matemáticas,
Sí.
porque estás en el talento de la academia. ¿Qué academia?
Sí, estoy en la academia de Gifted and Talented Program y pues me encantan las matemáticas, pues.
Es que vas a ser un ingeniero o algo así, ¿verdad?
Voy a ser un profesor de matemáticas, pues quiero ser un profesor de matemáticas.
Vas a hacerlo.
Voy a ser un profesor de matemáticas en el colegio de the University of Chicago.
Muy bien, y hasta la escuela tienes escogidos, que realmente vas muy avanzado. Has hecho diferentes días, has participado en tantas cosas, porque en esta coalición se ha hecho muchas actividades y tú has hecho muchas de las cosas. Pero en sí, ¿qué mensaje estás dando a los otros estudiantes, a los jóvenes ahora en este día? Porque es muy fácil caer en esos malos hábitos, malos ambiente, con malas amistades que te pueden en sí provocar a hacer cosas que son indebidas.
Pues lo que más es importante es acercarte con las personas que realmente sí te gusta como pues estar con los amigos que sí te gustan.
En apoyo, ¿no?
Con el apoyo, pues.
Haces tú muchas actividades. ¿Qué cosas has hecho tú en la comunidad? Dice que bailas. Dinos un poquito.
Bailo folclórico, los bailes folclóricos. Hacemos presentaciones en el Hemens o nomás en nuestra comunidad, en nuestra comunidad, pues, donde podemos enseñar nuestra cultura a la gente en nuestra comunidad, pues.
Y creo que es bien importante que siempre andan ayudando para tratar de ayudar a los demás. Muchas gracias por todo lo que haces, porque en sí eres un gran ejemplo. Le está yendo muy bien en la escuela, sacas puras A's en sí, le va muy bien, está participando en cosas de nuestra comunidad y baila y cosas así. Creo que es importante que des un mensaje a los jóvenes. ¿Qué mensaje les das tú para que traten de evitar en caer en malos pasos?
Pues acércate con las personas que realmente sí te gusta, pues. Positivas, pues. No te alejes de las cosas bien, pues, y aléjate más a los cosas pues más negativas, pues.
Sí. Tenemos ahorita con nosotros Karina Valle, que es la mamá de Jonathan. Y en sí, te vamos a hacer muchísimas preguntas porque tenés un gran tesoro aquí en la comunidad y has hecho tan bien con tu hijo porque realmente es un ejemplo. La verdad, todos queremos tener nuestros hijos que sean lo mejor que puedan, ¿verdad? Y te ha ido muy bien con él. Pero queremos hablar un poquito porque como papás, a veces yo digo, hasta yo mismo digo, ¿cómo le hacen? ¿Qué están haciendo? ¿Qué consejos nos pueden dar? Porque es bien importante, especialmente en la comunidad de ahora, que siempre están con sus celulares y están en la tecnología y a veces no sabemos ni cómo están nuestros hijos. Pero platícanos un poquito en sí, cómo ha sido la experiencia de tener a Jonathan en sí desarrollándose, un consejo más o menos.
Pues ha sido una lucha muy grande. Yo creo que los papás nos tenemos que involucrar más con los maestros. Yo tuve mucha ayuda con los maestros de él, empezando como desde el grado sexto. Fue cuando yo empecé a involucrarme con los programas que están disponibles por el distrito, los programas que están disponibles en la comunidad. Tuve la fortuna de contactarme con un amigo, Ricardo Gasca, que lo ayudó bastante. Él fue el que básicamente lo introdujo a todo lo que él trabaja con la comunidad y básicamente enfocarlo a tratar de que no buscara las drogas, que no buscara el alcohol, que eso no es necesario. Entonces, pues básicamente el papá tiene que buscar la ayuda que está en la comunidad y abrirse a las oportunidades que hay.
Tenemos una coalición de Safe and Healthy Elgin en sí, y él está bien involucrado aquí, nos ha ayudado bastante en la comunidad. ¿Cómo crees que eso ha podido ser un apoyo para él?
Pues eso lo ha hecho sentir a él como que yo creo que él ayuda a la comunidad, él se siente que él puede hacer un poquito de diferencia. Siento yo que el conocer más de la ayuda que está disponible lo ha ayudado a él para querer ayudar
Y crecer, ¿verdad?
y crecer a otros jóvenes. Yo creo que más que nada ha sido que la experiencia que él agarra la transmite para ayudar en lo que se le presente, básicamente.
Como papás siempre tenemos desafíos, andamos cargando ciertas cruces, a veces se nos hace dificultad las cosas de que lo que estamos haciendo, balancear las cosas. Me imagino que has tenido desafíos, después de estos desafíos, ¿qué es lo que te ha apoyado para poder sobrellevarlos?
Básicamente, pues yo tengo mucha fe, sé que Dios siempre nos acompaña, entonces para mí el tener la fuerza de que tengo que salir adelante por mi hijo, por mí, por las demás de mi familia, entonces es lo que me ha ayudado, o sea, mantenerme firme en lo que yo creo y yo sé que, como dicen, Dios aprieta pero no ahorca, entonces...
la lengua por fuera.
Pero sí, eso ha sido una ayuda muy grande, la verdad.
La felicito porque realmente es difícil. Y una cosa que yo admiro mucho es que usted ha sido parte de su vida y en el ambiente que él está. Sí participa en eventos y cosas y lo ha apoyado bastante. Y creo que es algo que necesitamos todos como papás tratar de hacer. ¿Usted cree que eso ha hecho mucha o poca diferencia?
Sí, uno tiene que hacerse disponible. Yo sé que todos trabajamos, yo trabajo mucho, trabajo hasta los sábados. Entonces, busco la manera, yo sé que hay papás que no tienen la disponibilidad, pero yo tengo la fortuna también de que tengo muchos amigos, papás de él, papás de amigos de él con los que yo también busqué acercarme, porque uno tiene que buscar estar cerca de alguien que lo puede ayudar. Yo no siempre podía llevarlo, yo no siempre podía traerlo, pero sinceramente es de que uno no está solo. Tiene que buscar la ayuda, tiene que buscar la forma de desenvolverse como papá para ayudar a los hijos a que se desenvuelvan, porque ellos no pueden quedarse en una casa y encerrados en un cuarto por siempre. Ellos tienen que salir, ver qué hay, ver el mundo, ¿me entienden? No tienen que estar tenemos que darles la opción y buscar uno de papá la opción para dárselas.
Muy buen consejo, realmente como papás a veces digo, estamos aprendiendo. No hay un libro que nos digan qué hacer. Andamos tratando de buscar ese libro. ¿O lo has encontrado?
Todavía no, todavía cometemos errores, todavía apretamos la rienda y todavía se nos quieren ir de la rienda, so it's like, siempre va a haber una forma de aprender más. Sí, y no hay libro.
Ni apretarla ni soltarla, es que tenemos que tener un balance y ese es el dilema. Usted lo ha tenido bien, más o menos nos dice cuánto apretarle, pero como papás queremos asegurar que tenemos una comunidad de apoyo y asegurar que busquen. Hay diferentes lugares donde pueden ir, acudir, si al caso se sienten perdidos, pero creo que como papás tenemos una comunidad que tenemos que trabajar juntos. Tenemos organizaciones como la Coalition for Safe and Healthy Elgin que puede ayudar y diferentes otras organizaciones aquí en nuestra comunidad, pero creo que es importante y usted es un gran ejemplo como mamá y la admiro porque la verdad felicidades por lo que ha hecho y creo que es alguien en la comunidad que debemos de conocer porque su hijo ha hecho mucho y un gran ejemplo para los otros jovencitos y creo que él nos está ayudando a guiar a los demás. Es que la felicito y muchas gracias por su tiempo, por lo que ha hecho por nuestra comunidad, porque usted está aportando un gran ejemplo y usted como mamá darnos ese consejo. ¿Qué podemos hacer? Si tienes un libro, compártalo.
Gracias por haberme invitado.
Sí, cualquier cosa que tiene sugerencia o idea, ahí nos platica. Pero muchas gracias, le damos gracias por todo lo que nos ha dado y compartido. Y aquí los esperamos para el próximo segmento. Hasta luego. Adiós. For more information, please visit cityofelgin.org. Para más información, por favor visite nuestra página cityofelgin.org. Don't forget, for city services, call 311. Call, click, connect. Para servicios de la ciudad, no olvide llamar 311, llamar, conectar y textear.